Hi, Franco Cavaleri coming to you from Biologic. I'm taking a break from the meticulous on the bench and the research to iterate something that I talked to my son, Matteo, about last night that would relate, and I think that a lot of people can get something out of. And that is, how do you extract your full potential to deliver performance? And there's two different levels to that. And the reason why this came up is because I watched these kids who work so hard coming onto the court in preparation for a basketball game. But these kids are still young and they're learning. And I was commenting about when I was in the gym and training just before Mr. North America, I was lifting, squatting over 700 pounds. These are 745-pound plates on each side of an Olympic bar. And there were times when I'd get under that bar, and if I wasn't mentally prepared, I couldn't even lift that bar off the rack. Yet, if the mind was ready, I could do the lift, and I could bench press over 500, and I could shoulder press over 300 pounds. And I think about that now and I shudder, but it's all about preparing the mind with small increments. And this is why we practice, telling Matteo, you just got to keep practicing. You're going to have good days and bad days on the court, but you keep repeating and reiterating, and that reinnervates the muscle mass, that reinnervates plasticity in the brain, that creates automation. And there comes a time when you mature enough, whether that maturity is an age and stage related thing, or it's a maturity of your human evolution, to become fearless of failing. I did a post yesterday with regards to that. You have to be fearless of failing, to unshackle your inhibitions and those things that bind you, that you believe prevent you from being fully performed. Now you have to think about what I'm saying in the context of immediate performance, as opposed to the academic, the lawyer, the doctors who are strategically preparing and staying focused, and they have a vision of their academic outcome. That's a different thing. And I've done both, where now I'm looking at, how do we translate that for the kids that are in our community, for my son, for his friends. And I watch that in basketball, and there's a primal biological essence at the deep core that you have to release so that you can lift that 700 pounds, whereby if you don't release that, there's no way you can get that bar off the rack. And that is what you need to do in performance like basketball, soccer. You need to prepare yourself before engaging and eliminate fear, because the practice, the academics, the repeats, those things then set in motion automation and an intuitive response to the game, to the event, when you eliminate fear. And I was showing him, my voice is raspy today because I was showing him, you may have seen people in the gym hunkering down and hyping themselves up, preparing themselves for a lift. And we used to do this. And yeah, it looks primal, it looks caveman, but it releases, unleashes a level of human being that doesn't exist unless you tap into it. You have to tap into primal. And when I watch these kids prepare to get onto the basketball court, for instance, I see these young men saying, yeah, let's go. That voice doesn't do it. It's gotta come from deep. And that deep voice, when you prepare, that is what unleashes the primal strength that then brings in the practice that you've imposed on yourself over the last 3, 4, 5, 10 years. That practice innervates an automation. When you're in that primal state mentally, you're no longer thinking about what move you're going to deliver. It's all automated. And I keep telling these kids, you just keep practicing over and over again. And eventually, when you are able to tap into that primal state, all that stuff becomes automated excellence. And it's the same with studying. My son says, why do I need physics? I'm going to study it, but why do I need that? Eventually in life, those elements you've learned become automated responses that carry you through a challenge without you thinking about how you've done that and why, and without you calculating and formulating. It's an automated response when you're in that primal state of life. So if you're in the game and you're in sport, find that primal depth. And when you step on the court or on the field, Everything else needs to disappear, including fear. And then you go.